Hello, people. Welcome back to the show. This is a second Friday edition, special edition of Chaotic Conversation. We're able to do it Monday night again. My schedule is kind of hectic now. So it looks like maybe for the foreseeable future, Fridays may be the new norm. But anyway, we're going to keep it rolling, keep it moving. We got three of our usual suspects with us tonight. Mr. Guy Scar, the Basco scenario with us. How you doing, sir?
Very fine. Thank you for having me, sir.
All right. And Mr. Chris Knight, how you doing, sir?
Doing well. Yourself?
All right. Can't complain. And of course, the lady of the chat, Mad's Mama Bear Doll or Mad's Mama Doll. Which one it is?
On Twitter, it's Mad's Mama Bear Doll. It's
Mad's
just
Mama.
Mama Bear Doll for YouTube.
Okay. Mama Bear Doll. Okay. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. Originally, we were going to do like a versus. I had several. Well, I had five. Five Marvel characters versus five DC characters. We're going to try and see who would win one at a time. But then I decided to do an audible at the last minute and change that up because a show came on today. Episode WandaVision. But I'm not going. This is going to be a no spoiler. We're not going to talk about what happened on there because Anzo does the WandaVision roundtable on Sundays, so I don't want to take anything from his show. But we are going to ask one question because it seemed like it's leading to this. I recently saw another YouTuber did a video, and he's saying that they are trying to do. Kevin Feige is trying to recreate, I guess, the magic that was when Luke Skywalker appeared in the final episode of Mandalorian.
I watched that same one.
They said it's going to be the Luke Skywalker moment. They want to try and do that same thing here. So, go Anzo. What's up, Anzo?
What's up, man?
Hey.
What up, brother?
I forgot, man. My bad.
No problem, bro. No problem. Not a problem. And they said that they're trying to recreate a Luke Skywalker moment in this franchise, in this universe. So my question is, who would you want to be the Luke Skywalker over here? In this, it would be. There's only two people that come to mind in my opinion. You want to see Magneto on the last episode, whenever someone comes, or the last shot, and we see the red figure floating, just causing havoc? Or do you want to see the wheelchair roll up, man with a temple on his forehead, and it's Professor X? Because the individual, the student that said that, and this, I'm kind of putting a little bit on this too. If it's Professor X, the way they could do it is that he's in Cerebro. He feels Wanda's pain, distraught, grief. So he comes there to try to help her, and that's what we see. Or it could go more to the House of M, and Magneto is trying to manipulate and do things, doing what Magneto does, possibly augmenting her power. I think it's been a long time since I read the comic book that he can augment her power somewhat, and he comes there because she's in distress and maybe needs help because Sword or whoever is doing something, or he comes there to introduce himself and say, "Hey, I'm your father." So, who would you rather see? I'm going to start with Guy Scar. Who would you rather see first? Would you rather see Magneto, or would you rather see Professor X?
For me, the person that makes the most sense is Magneto. With everything that was been hinting about House of M, all the Easter eggs, it all leads to the House of M, which Magneto is the major player in that whole storyline, right? In the books. I see it more being, like you said, he's going to sense, or he's going to get a heads up that, hey, your daughter's here in distress, and he's going to go in, sweep down and save her, maybe through a confrontation with Sword. He's going to come in and save, get his son and his daughter, right? Who knows, right? I think that's the one for me that makes the most sense. And yes, the other question is, who's going to be casted on that, right? As that Magneto. Well, I believe it's the only thing that makes sense to me would be from the origins, right? From first class.
Well, I'm not gonna, like I said, there's gonna be no spoiler. We don't want to mess up Anzo's show on Sunday. All I'm saying, based on what I've seen on this week's episode, it gives me hope that we will see Fassbender and McAvoy keep their roles. Because a lot of things are kicking around that maybe they're recast and whatever. But after seeing what I saw, and I'm not going to see any more than that, I'm hopeful that he may keep those two.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anzo, what do you think?
Well, I don't know yet because
Are you eating again?
always. Always. You go back and
telling
find
you,
me one
you're
damn
like
stream
the
where
Brad
Danny is
Pitt
not
of this
eating.
fucking group.
You tell me one stream where Danny is not eating. One.
Just make y'all feel better. Just make it feel better.
No, I don't care. It's your stream. I really don't care. I'm just like every time I like go to look at something else while you guys are talking, and I'm like,
Well, let me ask
I'm
you
looking at
this.
another tab or something.
A certain person, I ain't gonna call their name, puff pass every stream. Y'all ain't getting on his ass. So what's the damn difference?
One
you
isn't
don't-
a crinkly bag of chips.
Exactly.
I'll put it right here then.
Exactly.
So what do you think?
I don't think we're seeing either of them. And
Really?
the reason why I say that is because we don't even know if that's really the Quicksilver from the MCU. I'm sorry, from the X-Men, or it's just she brought someone in to like look like that Quicksilver. Somebody could be someone else. So we still don't know. I mean, until we see him in the real world as Quicksilver, then. But I don't know. I don't know, and I don't want to see. Well, I mean, if they do bring Fassbender and McAvoy in, I don't have a problem with that. But I want to see recast. I thought Fassbender was good.
Now,
McAvoy was okay.
Just let you know, Anzo, we're not doing any spoilers, so
Yeah.
that's why I'm not mentioning any names. But 'cause I don't want to mess up your show on Sunday. Just one question. So, but you don't think McAvoy was a good Professor X?
Yeah, it was okay. It was
He was
okay.
he was too jokey.
It was okay. I didn't think it was great. If I had to pick any, it's always Patrick Stewart. But
Well, I would too, but shit, he's ancient now.
no, I know that. But like I said, I prefer them recast.
Okay, Mads, you're up next. Who would you want to see?
I'm actually expecting it to be Professor X, and when I say that, I say Patrick Stewart. It fits
Really?
better with the timeline. And when they say a, Luke Skywalker level appearance, that's the first one that comes to mind for me.
Okay.
Other than that, it wouldn't surprise me if they dropped in Logan. But it wouldn't make any sense. I can't see the sense in there.
Okay.
Logan makes more sense to be in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Hey, hands off America's booty. That's mine.
Hey, listen, more booty. More booty. How are you going to complain about more booty?
I never complain about more booty.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's just saying you'll get more booty for the price. You get two for the price of one.
I remember my wife's face when Hugh Jackman jumped off that waterfall butt naked, and that was really his naked body, right? So,
Yeah.
You remember that scene too, don't you? That what you said? You remember that scene?
I said I
No,
remember
his
my
wife.
wife's face, right?
Probably sat there
That's
after
it.
about 5 minutes of being paused to say, we can watch the rest of the movie now.
Yeah, he was watching it too.
Man's ass is a man's ass, man. I played sports with other guys, took showers with other people. Doesn't faze me.
Okay. Mr. Knight, what are your thoughts on this question, good sir?
It makes sense to be Magneto, but I'm going to go with both. Because here's the thought process on this. Even in both iterations of the X-Men, which, while it may not be Quicksilver, they are obviously already giving us hints that the X-Men are coming. however it is, however they're going to do it. But it would make sense to be both Magneto and Professor X, because in both iterations, they were very closely, like there were always those introduction scenes of the two characters where they literally come in together. There'd be lots of the two of them together in both series. And I would say Professor X is more of a Luke Skywalker moment, but we've heard, and there was a tip-off in that video and in a couple other videos I've watched today. There was a tip-off that said, I'm really, and I think it was the guy that plays Vision, I can't remember his name offhand.
Oh, but
He stated it was somebody he wanted to work with, has always wanted to work with. And he also said, I'm surprised it hasn't leaked yet. Here's the problem with that thought. We didn't even hear about Mark Hamill being a part of that. In order for it to be a Luke Skywalker moment, we've already heard Patrick Stewart has been approached. That right there tells me it's not him. Because we know he's been approached. Will he be in there? Sure. But I think they're going to try to one-up it. You bring both of them in, I think that gives you your Luke Skywalker moment. Because we haven't heard the Ian McDermott? No, wait. Is that his name? The guy that played Magneto originally? Huh? McKellen.
Yeah,
Thank you. I knew it was McKellen. Thank you. Those two, if it is Patrick Stewart and they use both of them, it's going to be Ian. If not, let's get crazy here, because the thought process here is when she totally loses it, it's going to open up the multiverse of madness. I do believe she's going to lose it, and everything's literally going to go into complete chaos. Why not throw in both pairs? The Luke Skywalker moment, I think, is kind of a cop out to make you realize how big it's going to be. But I don't think I don't think they mean it singularly. And it's definitely not going to be Benedict Cumberbatch. I know a lot of people I've seen kind of in a couple places have said Benedict Cumberbatch. I think he'll be there sometime, but I don't think that's a Luke Skywalker moment. That's almost an expected moment.
I don't think it's Luke Skywalker.
No, it isn't. It is not on that level. But I think because Patrick Stewart's name has already been out there a few times about being approached about it, and he said, I don't want to be in it permanently anymore. That my story arc is done.
I think it's three people that could be Luke Skywalker moment. The two that we mentioned here, either Professor X or Magneto, or, and this is really stretching, they bring back Iron Man Tony Stark, and you see him flying there. What sense would it make? None. No sense. I'm not saying it make any sense. I can't tell.
This takes place before Far From Home. I know that much. It takes place after the blip. Other than that,
the Luke Skywalker moment is going to come from Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is going to be in the end of the series.
That's not a Luke Skywalker moment. That's an expected moment because they've already said it's attached to the multiverse of madness. If that's their Luke Skywalker moment, then they're severely overselling it.
Showing Mephisto.
No, Luke Skywalker moment is one of those because it triggers the emotions.
Yeah.
We're not going to get no X-Men or anything in this, man. We're not.
I don't know.
I think we are. I think and now I'm not saying like so heavily that it's, oh, hey, look, we're the X-Men. No, I don't think it's gonna be like that. But I think they're gonna start sprinkling in the hints, and it's gonna be pretty heavily hinted.
Yep.
But if it is one,
it's already been hinted, but they're not gonna bring in Professor X. They're not gonna bring in Magneto.
Why not?
Because I just don't think so.
I think they will. But again, do we know how many seasons this is?
What do you mean? One season.
It's one season.
It's just going to be one season.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I don't know if it was supposed to be more or not. So yeah, at the end of this, shit's going to hit the fan.
I do know they did say that what happens in this series is going to directly relate to future movies.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I believe Benedict Cumberbatch will be in it. But because I believe that, I don't think that's your Luke Skywalker moment. 'Cause I think that's way too easy.
And he's not confirmed, so we don't
No,
know
he's
if
not.
really gonna is right. That's what I'm saying.
But we've been told, it's like write down the important notes. Well, how do I know what important notes are during a lecture? If I mention it more than 2 times, you probably should be writing it down. They have repeatedly told us that this is going to tie in directly to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
That doesn't tell you that they'll bring him in or they're willing to bring him in.
Not necessarily.
Well,
But it's because it's going to be Mephisto's going to be the bad guy, and I guarantee you he's going to have to come in and try and help fight Mephisto.
I can see that, but I still expect him to be there.
It's going to be too crowded if they start bringing in all these X-Men and all that stuff. They'll hint to it, but I think we'll get more of it when it Multiverse of Madness comes.
But future movies, like Matt said, if you bring in one or both, Professor X and Magneto, that only says, yes, the X-Men are in this universe now. And if it's at the very, very end, it's like it's the same process of Luke Skywalker. Everybody seems to think now that they definitely will do a Luke Skywalker series, even though it's not been, green lighted.
I actually heard it was, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me.
When I looked it up, all I'll say is when I looked it up, it said it had not yet been green lighted, but it was heavily rumored. That's what they're saying. So that I can't see why they wouldn't do it. But if this is all tying to other movies, this is the way you introduce. At the very end, you put one of those two in it, and it confirms it. And again, if you get the old school guys, it's all you have to do, because especially if she splits the multiverse, it makes it very simple to say if they're not in other movies, we have split this multiverse. These people don't technically exist here, but X-Men do exist. And then it just opens it up. I mean, and we're speculating. We could all be wrong. I'm of the mind that's those are the two best.
The thing is, we don't have no plans for X-Men coming out, a movie or anything coming out anytime soon. So they have time to get the X-Men right. They don't have to rush them out into this. That's what I think.
Yeah, but I don't think it rushes them out. It just says here they are coming. We'll see them later.
It could be kind of like how they ended that movie with SX, which is Mr. Sinister's company. They left that there hanging, so they could. How many years have been now? At least 7 or 8 years. They could do that same thing. Just bring out something and then don't really act on it now. But then 7 or 8 years, phase 5.
Yes, that I can understand. But to say that we're gonna bring them in, I don't think so. If they do like a little end scene or something and do that, I could see that.
Yeah.
But
Flash might have a point, but I don't know if that comes as a Luke Skywalker moment.
Cap would be more of a connection to Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I also know that they are heavily talking about having him in the What If scenario series.
Yeah.
Cap.
yeah, they're doing a what if on every movie that they make.
Yes, the
I have a
Hydra
second
Cap
question.
is already.
Oh, I was gonna.
Yeah,
Sorry.
go ahead. Go.
I was just gonna say, instead of maybe doing one of the verses, I have another question that's DC related. If you wanted to do it, because I heard some interesting rumors coming up.
Go ahead.
But that is if we're moving on or not.
We only got 20 minutes, bro. Any final?
I just want to add one thing though. That remember in Far From Home when Peter's asking, what's his name, Samuel Jackson. Samuel Jackson about why can't we get so and so to help out or so and so, and they're off world right now.
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange. He said they're off world. Could it be that that's who we're gonna get at the end?
I don't think that.
Is this where he was off world during that time?
Maybe.
Because you mentioned before, right? It's about the same timeline, right? From Far From Home. So that would kind of
It's
make
happening
sense.
right about that time.
That would kind of make sense, right?
Yeah, but
I'm
so
just
that's a Skywalker level event.
Yeah.
No,
That-
I'm not
that's
saying it's
really played
Skywalker.
in
I'm
character.
just saying what Chris said before reminded me of that scene,
Mm.
and that maybe that's what causes him to come back from off-world. What's going on Earth with him?
Well,
I don't know.
I'll point out a few things here. And I backstage with LDG, I pointed it out, and I think it's pertinent here. And this isn't spoilers. This is just going by some of the things said in the episode, but it's nothing that really has to do with what's really going on. One, the director of Sword asks, "Does she have a special name?" He really hints around it, and they're like, "No, no, no." I think that because they spent that much time right there saying, "No, she doesn't have a special name. No, this is her name. No, this, and constantly focusing in on that for that split bit of time in this, they're going to call her Scarlet Witch at some point in this.
Yeah,
They're
of
going to
course.
give her that name because right there, that again brings it closer to X-Men coming into this. And I do think Anzo's correct on the fact that they're going to hint a lot at it. And if they bring an X-Men or two X-Men or be it Professor
anyone.
X or Magneto, it's going to be at the last second. Pedro, I think, is just an apparition or something that it's again hinting that they're there, but it's not him. It's not really that person. I think it's clever how they did that, but again, that's a later thing. The other thing, going to Captain Marvel, I don't think it's going to be her. When they mention Captain Marvel, Monica flat out says whatever. It's a really quick and definitive no statement, and they leave it alone. So I believe that because when we start mentioning these people in the series itself, that's not going to be who your Luke Skywalker moment is. Anybody they have even hinted to. So that only leaves it for certain things. One, Doctor Strange, but again, I expect him to be in this. A lot of people are expecting him to be in this. So does that level up to Luke Skywalker? I don't think so. Iron Man, while it doesn't make sense, I guess that does, unless, for instance, we know that there's the possibility that he may have uploaded his AI or his himself into an AI, and perhaps that AI has enough conscience, much like how Vision is, that it takes a suit and goes, and it controls the suit itself. So we think it's him, but it's not him. It's just his AI, which that could be a Luke Skywalker type moment. It would confirm some things, and that could be, and that would make more sense than him being in it. But I do lean towards Magneto as the best possible answer without absolutely knowing.
The only reason why I think I'm almost expecting Professor X is because it is a mind control situation.
Yeah. But that's why I say I think it's actually going to be both, because Professor X can handle the mind control, but
Yeah.
hey, I'm your dad. Your dad didn't die where you thought he did.
Yeah.
I'm your father. Well, God, talk about Luke Skywalker moment.
Exactly.
I am your father. I mean, maybe that's the answer right there. I mean,
Search your feelings, you know it to be true. Yeah. But
he's no, Professor X. He searched her feeling. He knows it's true. Bad. Never mind. Sorry.
I also said I would introduce the X-Men as a cameo in WandaVision, then expand it upon it in the Multiverse of Madness. We could
Set
do
it
that.
up for Phase 5.
Reaper said, "I bet they're gonna be a post-credit scene that has to do with Doctor Strange." That's possible.
Almost expected.
That's the thing. I expect to see him at least in some way, shape, or form.
yeah.
Dandelion Fluff said maybe they're exaggerating and it really isn't a Skywalker level. That would be the biggest misdirection
and people would be pissed off at
and it
this
goes
point.
off. No end credit, nothing just goes off. I'd be like, what the hell? But it may be.
They're at a moment right now with all the stuff going on in the world. They need people to be
But
wowed.
right now, Disney can do no wrong. They can do no wrong.
But that's because they're doing everything we want. Because they have to.
That. I did not want the first few episodes of this show, but I will
you
say
had issue.
it did a 180. It did a 180. Watch my video. I did one before the show. 8 minutes, 30 seconds. It will tell you. And the question is, do I think Wanda Vision still sucks? So let's check it out.
Can I actually address Flash? Because
Which one? Which question?
Interesting theory
Which
about
question?
that he thinks Wanda's being manipulated by Ultron. I have a similar theory, but I don't think it's Ultron. I said it right from the get-go, and more I see, the more I believe it. And I will defend this. I really think it's actually Mojo that is having some manipulation in that event. The jumping channels, the fact it is a TV screen barrier is making me think, and it's not like she would intentionally broadcast this. Like that's asking for somebody to come and kick your ass.
I'm not really familiar with Mojo. Who is that?
Mojo made an appearance made an appearance in the X-Men cartoon series in the 90s. He actually runs Mojoverse. He is actually a fairly prominent.
I thought he's the one that brought like people to fight in his world.
Yes, he runs a whole
mechanical legs and shit.
That is, he runs a whole world that is based and is done strictly for entertainment, television type entertainment.
I don't know. That is so nerdy. I don't know if they could bring that. That is complete nerd there. I don't know if the mainstream could. Because I remember that now vaguely. It took telling me to jog my memory, but I'm not saying it's beyond the realm of possibility because Kevin Feige, you really don't know where he's coming from until you actually see it. But it could be. I remember it now.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Caleb said, "All right, the Bosco scenario."
Yeah, because I told him no spoilers. Thank you, Caleb.
Jason Lee Tucker statement. Yes, that would make sense, but I can't talk. Yeah, okay. You guys think my theory is right? I think there's some merit to it. It may be.
There is some merit, but like I said, I lean more towards Mojo than Ultron.
I still think it's Mephisto.
It is.
There's way too many references to him. In fact, the poster they released for the series, somebody has pointed out in a video that in between Wanda and Vision, it looks like a bee, and the bees are all in this. But when you focus in on it, and yes, focusing in can mean that you see things that aren't necessarily there, but it looks like the beast with horns. Yes, and
I'm sorry. What show he was on last week? And somebody swore up and down it was the Reaper.
Oh, I think the Reaper's still involved in this too.
Who was that?
I said it.
Well, that was. I can't remember who said it. And I was like, that particular clip they showed. I never saw that Skies or whatever that's synonymous with the Reaper.
Scythe.
Then we didn't see now, and I don't want to spoil some, but we see what it really truly is this week. So I never did.
More than likely, what we saw is what it is, but we don't know yet because they still got a few episodes. I think there's 4 forces at work here. There's Wanda, probably Mephisto. There's another outside one that maybe Mephisto doesn't fully know, but knows it's something screwing with everything. And then there's Sword. There's outside, two probably inside, maybe a third inside that's kind of like a mole that has nothing to do with the other three.
Well,
All I
there's
will
been
say is something is giving her extra power because she is controlling too much shit and she never had that much control. So it's some kind of supernatural force that makes me lean towards Mephisto.
or maybe they're just showing her real powers. I don't know, but
She
I do know, I
she
do
can
know
control all that, and she's a
be-
beast.
because remember what Monica says. She said she's the only one that almost took out Thanos.
Mhm.
If it wasn't for Thanos raining fire, so she's a lot powerful than she has shown in the show
Mhm.
and in the movies. Like right,
But going,
so she's
but
one of the
going,
most powerful mutants.
but going back what Danny was saying, right? There's a lot of power there. Remember when the girl from Thor was scanning it? There was two different types of elements in the force field. So I
Hmm.
have a feeling that there is two people at work here.
Yeah, well,
Absolutely.
she said two things at that moment. One, there's two different levels, so there's probably two different broadcasts. There's Wanda's broadcast, and then she made another reference. Somebody is editing this. I think what Wanda puts out isn't necessarily the edit they're watching, and if LDG is still watching, LDG's under the impression that this is poor editing and poor production, that they're showing things that don't line up to what's going on inside. So he's lined up things, and he's done a very good job to show that, you know, the radio scene isn't exactly the same. Like when she's looking at the radio in real time with what's going on inside, it's not the same as when it's going. But the thing is if somebody is editing that broadcast, we're not getting it in real time on the outside. We're getting a different look at it. So production value may actually be better than he thinks, because what we're getting is her broadcast, which you see inside, unedited, and sometimes it rewinds. But those skips, because you don't see the rewinds on the outside, those skips are that editor. And yes, it's probably Mephisto, but we don't know.
Well, they do keep referring to a husband that they haven't seen.
Exactly.
I'm sick. What is it, Ralph?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Sick of
Agnes
Ralph.
and Ralph. Ralph is better seen in the dark. She talks about there's no caging this lion. Things just there's a lot of references that just the number, the hexagons come up constantly. The
The hex. I'm going to refer to it now.
yeah, well, and
Sorry.
on Sunday I'll bring up who I think Mephisto might be. We may have seen him. We just don't think of it that way.
What's up?
We just had
on,
the one
Terrence.
question for the night, and we let you talk about what you think. The question of the night is, and we're not having any spoilers about the episode, so we're just going to ask the question. They're saying that they want to have a Luke Skywalker moment, like in The Mandalorian. They want to have that same kind of moment on the last episode of WandaVision. So, in your mind, in your opinion, would Magneto be more of a Luke Skywalker moment, Professor X, or is there somebody else in your mind that would be more that Luke Skywalker moment? And kind of go into it without spoiling the show. We don't want to spoil anything about this latest episode.
I would prefer if it was Charles. I know that Magneto was believed to be the father of Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver for a long time, but that's actually not the case. So I don't really want to see Magneto pop up. I would rather Charles be there.
Okay. And do you think it would make sense, and would it tie in that Charles is wearing Cerebro or in Cerebro, however, and he senses the despair and grief for Wanda, and he goes there to give aid, and that's how a possible scene could be on the last episode? Does that sound feasible?
Yeah, I can see Charles doing the Cerebro thing, because I mean it depends on like what angle they go for, because technically Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are not even mutants. They got their powers from the evolutionary who experimented on them when they were babies.
And this
So
right there enhanced.
so like with Charles, he can maybe sense something, and then he will figure out that something's wrong, and then he will, take an interest and maybe try to help in that way, and then that will give them the doors to open up to those characters. That's something that I feel could be more realistic. Like Magneto showing up would be too complicated. Like I don't trust them to unfold that properly within that context, but we'll see.
Okay. Chris, you said you had a secondary question.
Yeah. Um,
Well,
so
before you ask, anybody get any final comments?
Andrew actually has a good question for Terrence. Which Professor X do you expect?
Um, I'm not really expecting any particular one. Like for me, anyone would work. It doesn't matter to me which one they use. I care more about what does it do for the narrative, like if it makes sense, because there's a difference between um, someone popping up and then it gets us talking versus if it actually has some kind of substance and it really helps the narrative.
So, which one would you like to see?
Either one doesn't matter. Like I
um,
meant what I said. Like to me, it really is more about can you make it work for the story that you're telling.
Okay.
and I'm on the same page with Terrence on that. I mean, I think putting Patrick Stewart in it would be fine, but if it's not him, it's the other. It works. It just it's all about how you do it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. What is your secondary question, Chris? I'm trying
So
to last an hour, and we got 37-minute mark now. So go ahead. Sorry for the interruption.
you're good. So I read something either today or yesterday stating that the rumor now is in Justice League that they are going to kill off Aquaman and Wonder Woman, and that Amber Heard and her character Mara, right? Mara, she is going to take the place of Aquaman for the rest of this film, this one, and that it was always the plan, and that he has his second Justice League movie in the works supposedly, and they're going to then introduce the Flash beginning to mess with time travel at the end of this, and therefore going and trying to save Wonder Woman and Aquaman in the next one. Now, my question here is what do you think of that theory? And two, do you think that'll backfire? Because there's a lot of people right now that don't want Amber Heard involved in any of this anymore. And I mean, do you think that's going to backfire if they use her? Because I would think if you bring her in and you killed her off instead, that still gives you some.
I think that's a terrible idea because why would you kill off your top selling actor or top selling franchise? I mean, Aquaman made the most money. Jason Momoa is going to put females' butts in the seat. So why would you do anything to dissuade that, mess with that? That's working. So to mess with that, I don't think it's a good idea. It may sound good on paper, but I think it's going to hurt their sales even more. Women
that's the thing.
go to the movie and see Jason Momoa kill. Shit.
My biggest problem with that thought process was that it's like they're putting the cart in front of the horse. It's like, wouldn't you want to see how the reaction is to Justice League as supposedly it was shot, which is 90% of his stuff was there and he's just adding a few extra scenes? Wouldn't you want to see what the reaction is and hope that you get the sequel? If they've already kind of said, oh yeah, we're going to do another sequel, I don't see them doing that. But if they do it, they're just getting way ahead of themselves thinking that this is going to take off, I think.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I don't expect a sequel at this point. I think that's basically fan rumors.
Yeah, I don't think there's a sequel either.
What
I
you,
was just talking to Hanzo before saying if they would just do the movies like they did those animation movies, that would
Indeed.
have been fucking fire. Because I was just telling him I just finished watching Justice League. Was it Dark War
Apocalypse.
Apocalypse? Yeah,
Apocalypse War.
exactly. That movie was freaking amazing. I'm just blown away that they can't do that on the screen. I it just I'm completely blown away. What I don't know because they will need an R rating for their movies because of what's done in the animation. But if they would just stick to what they did in the animations, they would have blockbusters left and right, and giving Marvel a run for their money.
I agree. I just rented I think it's called the Soul of the Dragon, the Soul of Gotham, or what, something like that. Yeah.
Batman Soul
I
of
mean,
the
and if
Dragon.
you were in a,
What's
and
it
if you
called?
were in a,
Batman Soul of the Dragon.
Yeah, I just rented that, and I saw like the first hour of it, and man, this
So-
film like it got a '70s feel to it, and it is still awesome, bro.
Michael Jai White tweeted out. He's like, "Yo, watch this." I'm like, "You got it." Well, he does voice Bronze Tiger.
so if you look at who dies in the Snyder Cut Nightmare Future, they said Wonder Woman's abandoned shield suggests she is defeated. As does Aquaman's trident. The Joker playing cards suggests Leto's villain is dead. The death of Lois Lane appears to be what turns Superman in the nightmare, which is in line with Batman versus Superman and the time travel, so that would tie back in. Batman doesn't appear to be working with Alfred anymore, so he might be dead.
Chris, so your question was,
Well, I
how
heard
do we
that-
feel about this? Or
Yeah, what would you say if they did this? Because my theory of this is I'm with Danny. I don't think they should, because you're what you're doing is you're going to leave something wide open that you intended a sequel for without ever going that direction. And this is why I say that they either need to acknowledge that the DCEU exists still, or they need to totally abandon it. And if they go this route and they let him do all this, then they almost kind of have to just get to the point and finish it.
Well, there's some issues with that. I think that is a terrible idea, and that when you look at the different departments that they have over there at Warner Brothers, like for the TV shows, the animated films, and so on, you have some individuals over there that understand the entire DC universe, and you have individuals that think they understand, and they go off of like one notion that they probably heard from their neighbor across the street. This is not how you deal with DC characters. There's no reason for you to kill off Aquaman and replace him with a mediocre character like Mira. That's just a stupid ass idea.
I agree.
I mean, any Joe Schmo that knows nothing about DC would be able to tell you that that's a horrible idea. And this is not really about Amber Heard. I mean, to me, she's a bitch, but that's neither here nor there. Her character, I guess they can make something work if they write it properly, but I don't want to see that. That's not what we need right now. But luckily, in regards to what Zack Snyder's doing, that seems to be off on its own little thing. So regardless of how it does, I don't think that's really going to go too much further than that. You might get some small stuff, but they already have like other plans that they're focusing on. So I think worst case scenario, if we do get something that stupid, then at least it can be one and done, because if there is any sort of huge backlash, it will be a one and done. And all these conversations about a trillion movies and a trillion shows, they won't matter at that point.
Go off the other direction.
Yeah.
You've got a little bit of a flame here. That flame became a fire because they got this done. Originally, the Snyder Cut was just, he had one, but we don't care. And enough people hashtag Snyder Cut. Hashtag Snyder Cut. Now they're doing hashtag finish the Snyder verse.
Right. Yeah.
This type of movement, if this does well enough, I honestly believe Warner Brothers is of the mind that they'll just continue it, and then again, Flashpoint fixes it all. You
Right.
kill
Well,
off the DCEU and you're done. But
yeah,
this is
yeah.
from 2 days
It's
ago.
just like a face palming moment because they have all their characters. They can do whatever they want. They have all the storylines and characters to absolutely destroy Marvel, but yet they have these fools over there that don't know what they're doing. And it's just like I have to just keep sitting there and telling all these humans about how there's all these amazing storylines they don't know about. And then they're like, well, I haven't seen them. It's like, well, because they don't do them. And then if they do them, then they kind of crunch it and jam it together and they rush through them and you don't get to see the full stretch of the storytelling. And I'm like, aside from the extreme power scaling that DC characters have, their storytelling is phenomenal, but you have to translate that and not think that, oh, well, we're the competition and then that's all you need. I'm like, no, you need to remind them of why DC was there first and why you're going to make it continue. But if you keep doing silly shit that I just heard you say about what they might be doing and all these rumors, I'm like, well, that's bad.
But doesn't that fall in line with what DC has been doing for years with their movies? It's just one bad decision after
yes
another.
And no. It's like it's like a 50-50 thing because sometimes they do, and then other times they do this great shit. But what it is that you don't have a lot of consistency with the great. And when you have something that's mediocre, it's called bad. When it's really not bad, it's just distasteful. But those tend to stick out more as to where I noticed that Marvel gets a lot of leniency and humans make excuses for them and DC gets torn apart. So because that is expected, it's important to make sure that you get out of that pattern and do something where you have consistent greatness and make sure that before you allow individuals to write your projects and direct it, that these humans know these DC characters. And I'm not talking about, they know one or two characters. I'm talking about the whole sea of the DC universe. That way you can have something that has a strong foundation and it can continue to be strong.
Yeah, no. I mean, I don't think it's a good decision. Here's my thought process is, again, if you're going to have Amber Heard in this more, you kill her off. It would make more sense. There's still that sense of there were stakes.
Right.
Because she does have some importance in the universe. So to kill her off, you'll make a lot of people happy because a lot of people don't like her. They're pissed off at what's going on with Johnny Depp, whatever. But I read this and I'm sitting there going like, why? I mean, because all you're asking for is either you have this wide up gaping hole of, well, what was he going to do? Which if HBO sees this, which they had to see it before they're going to put it out. They don't want like just, cardboard cutouts in places instead of effects. They want to make sure their money's going somewhere. So they're going to watch this. If they have this gaping hole, well, what does that tell them? It's like, well, if they leave it, then what are they telling their fans? Oh, look, here you go. Now we're just going to go on and finish our own thing. But now you're going to have this base. I'd almost equate this the Snyder stuff to the Stop the Steal stuff.
Right.
It's not necessarily the big movement, but it's enough of a movement that people are going like,
Right. It's getting attention. And that is the magic of DC. For better or for worse, it will always get attention, which is good because that means that humans didn't walk away like they claim that they do. They're always going to come back. However, like you have like Walter Hamada, he was the guy in charge, and now there's another guy, and I'm just like, do these fuckers even know about DC? Because I'm just like, I just be hearing certain rumors and seeing certain ideas, and I'm like, who thought? Like I just be bashing my head. I'm like, okay, How many movies is this shit gonna be? Okay, it's gonna be one movie. If this shit is bad, then we gotta hope we get another movie that cancels this shit out. So it's like a hop, skip, and a jump.
Okay.
Instead of
Fair.
just them like they think that they have to build this shared universe. And I'm like, I get it because everyone is trying to do that, but I'm like, you should be focusing on just making good movies. Like fuck a shared universe. Like your content is either good or it's not. I remember a time where we were just getting DC content and there was no shared universe. You just had individual projects, and when they were good, they were good. And we didn't care about anything else.
All right, moving to the last final
So
topic of the
they
night.
need to center themselves.
What the fuck? You finished?
Yeah.
Okay. The last topic of the night. There was a picture that came out of a Joker. It's blurred, but you can see the playing card Joker. So tonight I found out how the actual clear version of that Joker is, and here's how it looked. Do you think that is the Joker we're going to see on Zack Snyder's uh, Justice League, or you think this is not real?
I don't
I
think
don't
it's
think
real.
Zack's. I
Go
don't
ahead,
know.
Lon.
I think Zack Snyder's not gonna tease something and not do it.
Go ahead.
Zack Snyder is not. I think right now he sees the potential to do what I just said is make enough people keep pushing to get more of his stuff out. If he gets a home run with this, people are going to mob Warner Brothers about let him finish his vision. I didn't dislike his vision, but that's why I keep saying DC has put themselves in such a hole with all of this nonsense that as soon as they allow the Justice League to get done, the Snyder Cut to get done, they have now opened themselves up to allow more and more people to push and push to continue to do something that they either need to say is dead because enough of their movies have stepped away from it, or no, it's still going on, and this is it. We're going to keep going. The Warner Brothers has yet to be definitive. Yet, when you watch Aquaman, it doesn't really even reference anything else that's gone on. When you watch Shazam, there's a few pieces in there that reference it. Then Wonder Woman 2 doesn't reference it at all. It's like there's all this like, yes, it exists. No, it doesn't. Yes, no, yes, no. And they're putting themselves in such a hole that I don't think Zack Snyder's not going to show us what's in this. If he's showing us stuff, it's there. Because if it isn't, it's a bomb and he doesn't get what he wants, which is more movies.
Where did you find
If
that
it's-
picture, Danny?
I went online and punched
Um,
in Zack Snyder Joker picture, and that popped
Yeah.
up.
Because
Hey,
everywhere I'm looking, they're not showing that picture. They're still showing the blurred one.
It's
I
hard
don't
to
believe
find.
that's real. I think
I-
that's a
Uh,
fake.
That's why I put it up to ask your opinion, because this is the
don't know.
first time I saw it. The only ones I've seen in the past, bird one. But like I
Yeah,
said,
I'm
Yeah, I don't
looking.
know.
I'm looking for it now. I don't think that's real. I think someone what they did was they took the picture that it was, and then they like filled it out them. So yeah.
Yeah, that's possible.
Wait, put the picture back.
Hey guys, good night. I'm gonna head out. Okay.
All right, Chris.
All right,
That's
Chris.
right.
Yeah, Chris.
Thank you guys. Take it easy. All right. Talk to you. Talk to you on Sunday if nothing else.
All right, man.
Later.
Yeah, I don't know if that's real or not. I mean, the other one I thought was cool. It looked cool, and from what I could tell, I'm like, well, it looks like he's gonna look better than how he did in Suicide Squad, because I thought he looked dumb as fuck in Suicide Squad with all the tattoos and all that silly shit. Like, it kind of reminded me of like a cosplayer, you know, and not necessarily a bad thing. It's just someone trying to do their own Joker at a convention, but that's not how he would look in any sort of live action movie or show. That's what he looks like to me.
Well, we
in the
found out
Suicide Squad.
on another stream that the reason he has all the grill in the fronts and stuff because Batman knocked his teeth out. I've never heard that before, other than on another stream I was on, and I don't know where it was said. Not sure. Do you remember Alonzo?
I remember the stream. If that's what you're asking.
Yeah, the individual said that Batman knocked his teeth out, but we didn't know
Yeah.
they didn't do it on stream. I don't know. I don't know where he heard that from. That's what they said. He had the grill.
Heard it from an interview with Zack Snyder.
Okay, all right.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. I guess that makes sense, but it doesn't change the fact that it's like I don't like that that's there. That that he looks that way. I'm like that's not Joker to me at all.
Yeah, but I will make the same argument I always do, and sometimes I'm guilty of it. We constantly want new and fresh material. Then when they give us a new and fresh look on something, we kind of like, well, that's not this, that, not that. And I'm guilty of doing it. I've done it before. So where do we draw the line at where, okay, it's not what we're accustomed to, but we're still cool with it?
If I'm in the studio, I'm okay with them, making it look a little different. It's kind of like with DC animated movies. The animation is always different. And I love that. But it's still within line of what the character would look like, regardless of what universe you put them in. So to me, I'm just like, could you do away with the grill and the ridiculous tats? And then you can leave the hair and maybe make them a little more or less pale. Just take off some of that silly shit and then you'd be fine.
Okay. What do you think, Guy Scar?
I didn't like Jared Leto's Joker. I agree with Terrence. It was too much going on with his face. It was just keep it simple, man. I don't honestly, I don't. For me, the last Joker, I didn't watch the Joaquin Phoenix's Joker yet. I still have to watch that, so I can't judge that one. But Jared Leto's Joker, and I did not like it. So I can honestly right now care less.
Okay. Maz, what's your thoughts on the matter?
You guys have heard me talk about Jared Leto's Joker enough times. I'm not. I'm not
asking. You think the pic? First of all, you think the photo is fake or?
Oh, it's fake.
I don't believe the photo. That looks like somebody blended Jared Leto's Joker with Heath Ledger's.
Okay.
I don't like Jared Leto's Joker. I mean the Tekashi 6ix9ine look is so done. And his laugh sucked. You can give him a better storyline, but until you show me that he's got a decent laugh, no.
Okay.
That's true too.
Well, we were right at the hour mark. I'm going to go around the panel, let everybody shout out their channel, tell anything that's coming up, what's new, what's fresh, what's going on. I'm going to start off with Maz, Mama Bear, the lady of the chat. Tell the people what's going on.
Hi, guys. Mama Bear Doll here. Not a heck of a lot going on. I'm working on some restructuring with my channel and conversely my apartment. But this Thursday, the Queen's Council will be hosted on my channel for the super spicy Valentine's Day episode. You don't want to miss that.
Okay.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Guy Scar, tell the people what's going on in your world, in your universe, sir.
My world, you can catch gaming clips on the Basco Scenario on YouTube, or you can watch me sometimes live stream on Twitch under skis_75. You can also catch me Sunday on Bigger Forge Entertainment One Division Roundtable to talk about that last episode that was fire. Mondays or Fridays now, you can catch me on the Chaotic Conversation with my man Danny Graham on the Chaos Central. As well on Tuesdays, 9 p.m., Chaos List, and Wednesdays, 7 p.m., Rule of 3, and then back at 10 p.m. for OOC. So that's where you can find me.
All right, good deal. Mr. Terrence, tell the good people they can find you at, sir.
Yeah, what's up, humans? It's Terrence. You can find me on this channel and you can find me on T Virus Terrence. I have about, I want to say, like 50 videos on standby. I've been
Man,
doing
one night you did like 4 back to back. I was like, good lord, what are
yeah,
you
I reviewed a lot of
doing?
black films,
Yeah. Oh,
and I've been putting together different posts about my people and in the history as far as sports, music, entertainment, comics, and the whole lot. So I've been focusing on that as of February 1st. So there's more black related content on the way, among other things that just, happen to come to mind. So, that's what will be posted up on T Virus Terrence. And other than that, thousands of videos for you humans to choose from. I mean, they're all organized into various playlists. You can navigate through it very easily and, see what's up over there. Pick your fancy.
all right, good deal. Mr. Anzo, what's going on with you, bro? Tell the people what's going on with Bigger Ford Entertainment.
Yeah, that's right, guys. You know the channel, Bigger Ford Entertainment. Check it out tomorrow. No, sorry, Sunday, WandaVision. Square One's coming up to tomorrow, so check that out. Then we have the Chaos List, Chaos Conversation, Rule of Three. You guys know the channel. Do appreciate all the support. Danny, great show today.
All right, thanks, bro. First of all, I want to say thank you to Alternator. He's doing an outstanding job as mod. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it, man. You're really a big help. Thanks everybody that came here in the chat. I appreciate your support. As always, I appreciate the panel, your input, and your thoughts and your opinions is always great. Um, as you know, I got a busy work schedule, so sometimes if I can't do it on Mondays, I'm more available on Fridays. So that's probably going to be the new norm now until things kind of play out or level out for me. But I enjoy this. Like I say, please do catch Anzo's show this Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the WandaVision Roundtable. I'm very excited about this episode. So far, I think was the best one. So no spoilers tonight. But if you haven't watched it, go watch it. It is really piquing my interest now. I am like almost counting down the Thursday nights at 3 a.m. Because tell you the truth, now I watched it last night about 5 a.m. And I was looking at the clock, watching TV, falling asleep, waking back up, rewinding it, looking at the clock, falling asleep, rewind it, wake back up. I did that about 4 or 5 times. So what took a 20-something minute show took me almost a damn hour and a half to watch. Because I was damn keep falling asleep. Not because it was boring, just because it was fucking 5 o'clock in the morning. But I end up watching anyhow, get up with the work, show is fire, episode is fire. So please catch that. If you haven't seen my video I done tonight, I did a second video. Name of it is Do You Think WandaVision Sucks? Please go check it out. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't. And I appreciate it, man. And until tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, me and Anzo will be on Square One. It's going to be the show before Super Bowl Sunday. So maybe more than 12 questions. I don't know yet. I got to go back and watch shows and try to get questions that's going to really spark good conversation. But as always, I appreciate the chat. I appreciate the panel. And until next time,
Peace.
out of here.